Perfect.
Hello.
Perfect. So, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Well, I mean, what better way to continuing this epic day with another epic guest such as you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean you're really killing it today. You got a lot of people.
Thank you. So, welcome to the show. It is so cool and awesome to have someone with such a career and awesomeness as you. So, before we start, I have to give you a proper welcome. If you have seen some of my episodes before, you know exactly what I'm about to do. If not, that's even cooler because then I can surprise you. So, let me show you.
Thank you.
I love it.
Love it.
You know, at some point we're gonna have live audience, but we're still working around. You know how it goes, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So, starting with everything, tell me how your acting career started.
Well, I feel like I just knew at a very young age that this is what I wanted to do. Like 3, 4, that's what I just started telling people, that I was going to be an actor.
So cool.
But I didn't really get into it until high school. I did some theater, my all 4 years there. And then I took a little break, like 10-year break. And then I got back into it a couple years ago, right before the pandemic. So,
Love it.
yeah, so that's how it started.
So in 2020, you were in Shrill. Tell me, was that like one of your first projects? And also, like, what were some of the challenges that you had when you were, let's say, that getting back to your acting career?
Sure. Yeah, Shrill was one of my first. I was just, sorry, my sister-in-law. Oh, I love you again, Marie. Yeah, Shrill was one of my first projects. I was just a featured extra in that. But it was a lot of fun to get back into it, just being on set, because you learn so much on set. And I was there for 3 days was my contract, and it was great. It was 14-hour days, and I was wearing like this leather skirt in 100-degree weather and with no air conditioning, so that was a good start to it. But yeah, no, it was great. And struggles with getting back into it. I live in Seattle, so our market there's not a lot going on.
Yeah.
We're starting to get better, but that's definitely a struggle. And then just the work-life balance. I have 3 kids, so yeah, it's hard to balance it all sometimes, but we make do.
No, but that's so cool. And also the fact that it's so interesting now that they're giving like that the whole acting industry is kind of moving to different, to different states here and there. I mean, I have seen it in most of the episodes that I have. They will tell me, but for example, that Atlanta is like it's getting like the new hot thing, and also, for example, New Mexico sometimes, Texas as well. So it is so cool that is everything getting like more expanded instead of just staying in Los Angeles or New York, for example.
Totally agree. A lot of that is just because the states give kickbacks if you film there. So Washington actually just passed something like a month ago. So I think we were at 3 million for our budget before, and now it's to 15. So I expect a lot more projects coming into Seattle, which is great.
So cool. And so later on, you were in Station 19, 3 Busy Debras, The Daily Chill, Baby Don't Cry. But like, tell me, like, how you usually prepare a character? I mean, I understand, of course, that depends on the role, but like, what usually sets you off into this, let's say, journey of this process of character creation?
Sure. For what I like to do is I start visual a lot of time, where I'll get a Pinterest board even, and I'll pin images that I think that character would like, what she would wear, even quotes that I think would resonate with her. And then I'll start a playlist and just kind of think, especially if the beats in a scene or an emotional scene, I'll be like, this is what I think in my head would be playing in the background. That's something that helps, as well as I like to interview myself or the character, but rather than like, what's your favorite color, you would say like exactly what that girl would say. So more like, I don't know, pink's my favorite color, always has been, and just go on that way. Speak how they speak would be my way to say it. But those are my kind of favorite ways to start digging your teeth in a little bit.
Yeah, that's so cool. Plus, I think that the fact that you're creating playlists at the same time, it opens the door to discover new songs, you know, like
Mhm.
new music.
Yeah, just knowing like what do I think her favorite book would be? Like what's her favorite show? When she has time off, what is she doing? And that little details like that help build a full dynamic character.
Yeah, totally. Which I think it also at the same time will kind of you get the chance to whenever you are bringing a character, it also gives you the opportunity to kind of learn more about yourself, you know.
Yeah, you get to go through old trauma and kind of process it. I mean, acting is kind of therapy in its own way, just a cheaper version.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's true. I mean, I've heard sometimes that, for example, they would like to play, they would like the scenes in which they can curse or like destroy something so they can release all the tension that it has. So I was like,
yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, because we all have stuff built up that we maybe don't express, and then that's your chance to kind of get it out. So yeah. Totally.
Wow. And now you mentioned before that you also have been on theater. You were in High School Musical and Footloose.
Yeah.
But tell me, like, what do you like the most about theater?
Well, I did theater in high school. I haven't done it since. Theater is fun for a lot of different reasons because you only have one shot to get it right. You don't have multiple takes. You kind of get this jittery feeling like, okay, this is it. You got to have it figured out, which is fun, as well as there's just a camaraderie in theater. You're just all a team because if someone's failing, you're all kind of failing. And it's, I don't know, it's just like a high being on stage and performing for people and getting that feedback right away. Because, you know, when you shoot something on film, you're not sure how it's going to land, but you know if it's something's funny when you're on stage with a theater group because the audience is hopefully laughing. Yeah,
absolutely. And what advice could you give to those who are starting their acting career on theater?
Study the craft, really. Start with studying the craft. Watch as much as you can for theater, or television. You can go both. Just whatever you're interested in. Make sure you're practicing your craft at home. You don't have to be on a booked job in order to do that. Get scripts, practice at home, have your own little studio, and get in a class. And if you can do any student films or indie films, I highly suggest it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can agree on that. Now, you also have a podcast coming up soon.
Thank you.
Tell me, like, where the idea to create it came from?
Well, I feel like most of the acting podcasts that are out are more tailored just to LA, where my podcast, the Small Market Actress podcast, is more focusing on smaller markets, whether that's Seattle, Texas, New Mexico, and how you can, we're going to discuss how you can make a career, maybe not in LA. So those are the topics that we're discussing, as well as maybe breaking into LA if that's what you want to do. Things that you can do in your home state rather than having to move or until you're ready to.
I like that. Yeah, I like that. And I think it is very important that that word can be spread, right? And more people can know about it. That if you want to do acting or musician, you can check around, like what's near your area instead of moving to as we were mentioning, to LA or sometimes New York, and it's so cool that the fact that you want to create like that, like to kind of giving people hope that it's okay where you are, there's a chance to do it instead of just if you don't go there, your career is done. You know what I mean?
Right. No, absolutely. And most of the advice that you can get for actors is just tailored to if you're living in LA. And I think it'd just be a good opportunity for us smaller market people to kind of discuss issues that we specifically deal with.
Yeah, I like that. That's so cool. And tell me, how do you usually get inspired, to start writing, and where does your passion for acting comes from? I mean, where does this passion to do so many things like the podcast, for example, comes from?
I think that it's important for creatives in general to create your own work. It's important to just create something. That's your outlet. And that with a podcast or me writing, I'm a screenwriter as well, that I have control of what I'm doing there rather than waiting for a part. So that's just something that I enjoy doing. It's just create work, and that keeps you busy, keeps your head on straight, and keeps you focused.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I can understand that. And like, what are some of the things that you enjoy the most when you are writing, and how, and like how you usually get inspired to start writing something?
I think for me, what I'm currently working on, I take my own personal experiences and then just let your imagination kind of run wild. And I just have notebooks that I'll scratch in for a while before I even get to my computer and start. But like, even I do the same thing when it comes to having a Pinterest board, and like when I'm creating my world, I want to see it first before I start writing it. So I'll do that, listen to music that I think would play on that. And that's just kind of my process.
I love it. I love it. And if you could describe a movie in which all of the characters you have played at the moment will gather for a party, what would be the name of that film?
The Fellowship of the Bitches. I always play bitchy characters. I guess it's typecasting. I don't know.
Interesting. We might have an idea for a project sometime.
Okay, let's get after it.
That sounds like a plan. I like it. I like it. Again, if you could describe your career now, like at the moment, but this time on a movie, TV show, book, or even a play, why not? What would be the title of it?
Like one that's not.
Like the one that could describe your career at the moment.
At this moment, good question. The daily grind, just every day, grinding it out.
Yeah, I can understand that. If you could describe again your career, but now on a drink, which one would you choose? It can be alcoholic or non-alcoholic. It's up to you. It's okay.
I'm gonna go with champagne. It's my favorite drink when it comes to it. It comes to alcohol, just because I got a lot of bubbles ready to explode out the surface. That's how I'm feeling right now.
Yeah,
career-wise.
Yeah, I like it. Plus, if you drink it like straight, you wouldn't have the chance to like enjoy it. You know what I mean? You need to go.
I had some this morning.
Oh, I love it. And I mean, like, what motivates you? You know, we all have those days in which we want to quit, right? We think that our work in general is not good enough. You know, we think that perhaps we didn't took like the right decision. I mean, like, getting inside into all of this toxic bubble is super easy, right? But like, what gets you out of it? You know, what keeps you going and pushing every day, basically?
Career-wise, what keeps me motivated is, like we talked about earlier, I'm creating my own stuff, and I'm very passionate about that. And I feel like when you create momentum, your own momentum, other stuff starts coming at you. Example, I just booked and filmed a commercial on Friday that I didn't audition for, but I felt like it's like I was working, and all of a sudden good things started to track to some good things. But what keeps you motivated is just expressing yourself. That's what you're doing while you're creating art, and I just love to do that.
There you go. I love it. And it's so interesting, right, that as simple as it sounds, at the same time it is one of the hardest things, which is like to do the thing that makes you happy, you know, because I do think that whenever we are starting something, or whenever we want to follow something, it is challenging, but at the same time we tend to get discouraged super easy. But I think that once you find the right path to it, you're basically good to go.
Yeah, at this point I just don't even feel like it's a choice anymore. Like, it's just like, that's what I'm meant to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. So,
I love it.
I've tried not acting or following my passion before, and it just doesn't work out well for me.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And like, my last question here is, what are you up to lately, and what can we expect from you soon?
Well, I'm currently pitching my pilot that I wrote. I've been doing pitches in LA with agents as well as some producers. So Fingers crossed with that. I'm also about to start writing my new screenplay, and I have a short film coming out. So
I love that. I love that. That's pretty cool. Also, my dogs love that as well.
I know, who let the dogs out there?
I live with 3 dogs, so it's impossible not to like whatever. Even if the smallest thing passes, like crossing the street, they will get all jumpy and see like what is going on. But going back
I
here.
have 3 kids, so I get it.
Yeah. It's just crazy. Sometimes I'm like, why do I even want to have 3 dogs? But whenever they are like super cute, I'm like, yeah, okay,
that's why. I go through the same thing.
Okay. I love it. And also, I mean, what can I say? I mean, your career is super cool here. I can't wait to see more of your awesome work. I'm super sure that eventually more and more epic things are gonna come to you, because the fact that you're honest to it and the fact that you are following it, because it's the thing that you love the most. As I was saying before, as simple as it might sound, it is super difficult, and the fact that you're doing it, that is impressive. That is really cool. More people should know more about what you do, because it is awesome, basically.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thanks
Absolutely.
for having me on here.
Absolutely. Thanks for accepting. Also, I want to thank those who are watching this right now. Thank you so much. Normally, what I would say is that if you're watching this later, either here on Instagram or later on YouTube or on Spotify or Apple Podcast, make sure that you're following Blakelys on all social media. Normally, what I would say is that if you're following her right now, that's fantastic. Then let's make her viral. Let's make sure everybody knows about her, about how talented and awesome she is. And before I send you off, I need to send you off properly, so you know what is coming again. So there you go. I love it. One day we're gonna have a live audience, trust me, and I'm gonna invite you to it, so then we can all love that live audience. But in the meantime, thank you so much. Keep being this amazing, talented person you always are. Keep killing it. I'll see you in the next one.
Great. Thank you so much, Dan.
Bye.
Bye-bye.